I understand you stopped at the Two Brothers yesterday.
Yes.
I heard rumor of that.
It was great.
And I couldn't think of your name. I said, no, it's not Ken, it's what? It came to me after my daughter left. That's Tony.
It was great.
Good, good,
Had a really good time.
good, good. Okay, well, we'll pledge allegiance to the flag first. And we'll let Roger read it tonight.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Roger. Okay, I guess minutes of the June 5th meeting.
The regular meeting of the Franklin Town Board was called to order by Supervisor Jeff Taggart at 7:30 p.m. Present were Jeff Taggart, Garrett Sitz, David Grant, Donnie Smith, Dwight Bruno, and Paul Warner. Dave Tuthill gave the minutes from the Franklin Kellogg Trust meeting. Bill Van Gorder went over the insurance policy for the next year. Garrett Sitz made a motion to approve Mang Insurance Group for the next year. David Grant seconded the motion and all agreed. Garrett Sitz made a motion to accept the standard workday resolution. Dwight Bruno seconded the motion and all agreed. Daryl Drayden is stepping down from the planning board. Jeff will ask Barb Thompson if she's interested in the position. From the planning board, Barlow's Store in Treadwell is making high-end dog food. They will be coming to the planning board meeting on June 7th to discuss their plans. Dwight gave a presentation regarding switching to Vonage for our phone services. The cost would be approximately $150 a month. Dwight will set up a conference call with Vonage representative, Jeff and himself, to discuss the options. The town has missed out on any of the large grants for the clean energy communities. The town is moving forward with the lighting project for the town shed building. David Grant made a motion to accept the corrective action report for the state comptroller's office. Donnie Smith seconded the motion and all agreed. With nothing further to come before the board, David Grant made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:25. Donnie Smith seconded the motion and all agreed.
Any additions or corrections?
Motion accepted.
We have a motion made, second.
I'll second.
Dwight second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Is there any report from the Kellogg Foundation
No, we have a meeting next week.
next week?
Yep,
Okay.
next Wednesday, 25th.
Because Dawn got a,
Oh, maybe Dwight can take this.
and they've got a grant that supposedly is a cost sharing grant for the exercise equipment. So I don't know if you would know that this June
No,
11th.
I wasn't handed anything.
Okay.
Do you want to take that? Well,
Yeah, no, I
Take
can
that
bring it
with
for
you?
next week, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
I'm
I
sure
know,
they'll-
I talked to Lisa last week, I think it was,
Uh-huh,
and I thought she said they didn't get the grant for it, so.
that they did get the grant?
Did
That they
not.
did
Did
not.
not? That may very well be.
But this
Yeah,
says
that
they
says
did.
otherwise.
But this says they did.
That-
Yeah.
I mean,
Those are,
clarification, I guess, Lloyd, okay?
Yeah,
those are releases for the pavilion that he handed you first, Dwight.
okay.
If you can give him those too.
Yep, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have two competing answers to that, yes and no, huh?
Well,
Yes and no, and I don't know.
Maybe when I was visiting with Lisa, I misunderstood it, but I thought she said there wasn't gonna, the grant, they didn't get the grant, so.
Well, that may very well be, I'm sure they'll talk about it next week.
Right, yep, okay. Okay.
And what's this here?
Oh, those are releases from the insurance
Ah,
company for the
okay.
pavilion
If they
rental.
wanna,
Okay.
somebody wants to rent or use a pavilion,
Yeah.
no red tape.
Okay.
We're gonna do Barb Thompson now. Thinking about it.
I'd like to entertain a resolution to appoint Barb Thompson to the planning board position. She was at the planning board meeting, very interested. you know,
Good.
Wants to serve, so.
She'll do well.
I think she'll do well, yes, yes.
No?
She's eager to learn, or eager to
Participate.
participate, yes.
Super.
Okay, so we have a motion to that effect?
Seconded.
And seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. The planning board will appreciate it. Pardon?
Just one more letter.
And then we had, at the planning board meeting, what business they had was a boundary line adjustment at the end of Shivers Road. That's not Shivers Road. What's the name of that road?
Lintz.
Pardon?
Lintz.
Flint's Road. There was a small, like 3/10 of an acre given to the people at the end of the road. Down over the Walker. Is that the guy's name? The old Walker place?
Yeah,
Bruce
Walker.
Okay. Now, is he a carpenter that works, you know?
I don't know what he did.
Okay. Yeah, but they came for a boundary line adjustment, which was very,
Would he add it to something?
to his existing lot. His lot was, he had enough frontage, but he wanted access. It was an old road that goes across kitty corner to get to his barns. The driveway or something, and it was like it was off the gun club. There's a gun club on that side of the road too. Somebody's gun club. But that's, they just, the boundary line adjustment, easier access to his, I think, to his barn. So it was a boundary line adjustment. And that was all the action was taken. And we did not see the dog food people for June or July. So it was gonna be mentioned to the code enforcement officer that they ought to find some interest in getting their special use permit. And we did get a letter from the Office of the State Controller acknowledging the fact that they received the corrective action plan for our report of examination 2018M-8 entitled Financial Condition. So they got sent to them and they acknowledge the fact. And I believe all the reports have been filed, Paul?
Yes, everything's filed.
So they're all up to date.
Everything's up at the clerk's office. Did you advertise it?
Yeah, it should be in tomorrow's
Should be in
paper.
tomorrow's paper, that it's available. And I think, I got different information from town association of towns. Since we only have a two-person committee for auditing, it's not, any action can be taken.
There's no quorum.
There's no quorum,
So
so
it's
there's
not
no
official.
need to have a public hearing, open to the public, any audits.
I talked to the Department of State and they said otherwise. But it is in the law that minutes should be kept.
Minutes should be kept, well, who's gonna keep the minutes? If it's
It
just the
says
two
town,
auditors.
specifies town clerk.
Well, we never have, and I think that's, our association with town said it didn't need to be a public meeting.
I asked the state auditors when they were here and they said no,
No,
it didn't
they-
need to be either.
Who said that at the state level? Because I think maybe we need to,
Contact them.
yeah, we need to kind of
Open,
get on the same track.
whoever, I think it was the assistant in the open committee.
Could
on
you
open
find
government.
out who that person
Yeah,
was?
I got that in my email.
That'd be great, because I think it's important that we coordinate what's supposed to happen with what happened.
Well, if it's not public meeting or anything, it shouldn't be.
It also sounded like from the minutes there was a resolution for the corrective action plan.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Because I would imagine they must have probably consulted with an attorney there.
You know, she was,
She was an attorney?
I got that impression,
Okay.
The one I talked to, Association of Towns,
Wasn't
he was
it?
out again today.
Yeah.
We played phone tag.
So,
She talks quite fast, so I want to talk to her on the phone rather than leave a message. But, and all the reports are filed and accepted. And when did your paper come out? When did that go to print, Brian?
Oh, geez. It went to mail, I was downstate, so I don't remember exactly, but I believe it went to mail on the 30th, which meant it would have had to go to the publisher about a week before that.
There was information in there from the last meeting, so obviously it didn't go to the press until after our last meeting.
Right, but some of those reports had been filed at that time.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Yes.
And to throw, and to say that none of the reports were filed.
Many inaccuracies.
Yes, many.
There's a lot of inaccuracy in that paper there, so. How come the Blueberry Farms number wasn't put in, how much it sold?
Well, that,
Because it wasn't sold, it was just a transfer of name.
corporation,
from one to the other.
corporation.
It was
So they
sold,
retained their own ownership and just playing corporate games?
well,
Basically.
when the Babcocks sold what they had, they sold,
I mean, you put my sale in there twice, the
right,
sale of my property,
there was no,
and you got me related to Elena. Me and Elena are not related.
well, if it said related, it's because that's the way the file came from the county. I don't ad-lib those. And as far as the North Star, the Hansonburg to North Star, that was a transfer. It was just a name change of the corporation. It was not a
Yeah, sorry,
sale.
but when I sold my property, I had to go through a thorough with an examination because I took grant money to sell it to these people. And I had to go big. Did that happen there too? Well, you wouldn't know that.
No, I mean, I take
But
the
if
file,
you
the
change
county.
names, would that matter?
Well, I mean, obviously it has to be
I mean,
recorded.
they got a lot of grant money, didn't they?
Don't tell me.
Tons of money, got enough grant money that every little farm around here could even get a $10,000 grant if they wanted to go into business. That's what grant money should be for, not just for one rich person to get a whole bunch of money,
Okay.
all right? Because when I got my grant money, I didn't want it. I mean, I'm a little peeved about this grant money stuff you guys keep throwing around. Because the people that should be getting it don't get it.
Well, we're just talking about the real estate listing.
I
The real estate
know, but they got a lot of grant money, and I said, a lot of grant money being given to a lot of wealthy people, but it should be really going to the people that could use 10 grand to start a new life.
I asked Jim Basil about that. He said all the other ones had numbers, in both columns. Where the Blueberry Foundation, whatever it is up there, didn't. And Jim said it actually is because it was transferred from one corporation to another one, which is, just another way to, if they did something wrong, they can keep transferring it and still keep the damn thing, which is, which is, I guess it's legal, but it's wrong. How's that?
Well, I mean, the reason, as I understand the reason for the change is that the new owners are no longer associated, are not the Babcocks, and they don't live at Hansonbrook Road, so they came up with a new name for the company.
So Babcocks don't own any of it at all anymore?
Supposedly they have a minority stake. I don't know what.
Right.
No one
That's,
tells me what
I mean,
they-
that's what, that's my problem with it, I mean, if they're getting out of it, I mean, that's nothing that we can do or they can do or whatever to do. It's a loophole for corporations or whatever.
Yes.
Smarter people than me, how's that?
Surprisingly, when we get the file from the county, like half of the transfers in there are like that, with no money changing hands. Sometimes it's from a husband to wife, sometimes it's from the person with the same name that I don't understand at all. So usually I strip those out because we have limited space. I left that one in because I thought it was, people should be informed that they had changed the corporate name from one to the other.
Do you have any questions?
So does the town have anything, any to do with all that paper? We don't give them money as taxpayers, correct?
Not that I know of, no.
Because we did at the time to cut taxes for this.
No.
stuff.
No, it's all self-funded, I guess, or nonprofit or
Well,
whatever.
I'd be ashamed to advertise in that paper, and the fund is Franklin local, but 99% of the funds, other than Wayne Bank, they're not from Franklin. And that's kind of, articles about City Center, Walton, about Franklin.
Who has the final say on grant?
No one.
The state does.
Who's giving the grant?
I mean,
All sorts of places that give grants.
You know, I mean, I'm just gonna say it right out, you know, the grant in Main Street grant was geared to preserve 3 buildings, and I ended up probably getting most of it from the last one that wanted it, because he ended up backing away,
He being,
Gary,
oh, okay.
all right? So, you know, the intent was to save a small portion, and then it ends up going to like 10 or 12 people, which was better. You know, 10 people got roofs, 12 people, that's where the intent should have been from the go, instead of the initial being geared to saving a couple buildings. You know, I mean, I hope we don't make mistakes like that again. Because I know how many people wanted to do, start a little farming business, and they can't even get $5,000, $10,000. Which one company, one person's getting like 100, 150,000, whatever kind of grant money they got there to put up the fancy thing they put up there, and then they leave town. After they give these high hopes of food center.
Well, I think some of the problem there was, I think
I know what happened.
Babcocks were on the board of the, what's it, child program or something over there?
Yeah.
I can't, something to that effect. It wasn't really, not chow, I guess, but something to help, start-up farmers and stuff like that, but
We open
it's
now?
unfortunate.
We're
Pardon?
not open yet, right?
No,
That's something
no.
I really want to talk about.
No, I guess the pool's in action now, they got that. They're digging it up by hand.
My understanding it's a temporary fix. In other words,
Right,
they put a bypass in so they can use the filters. They haven't got down to the real one yet, but they're proceeding cautiously so they don't damage something.
right,
That's the rumor.
right, that's what I've heard, that my son was,
We
well, my
confirm
granddaughter is in swimming lessons, and he says there's 2 older gentlemen digging by hand, trying to find the pipes. I said, wow, it's gotta be fun in this weather. But that's,
77 and 75, and the youngster is 60-something.
wow.
No,
I think I heard some jackhammer this morning.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe they got down to the concrete then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. Well, we'll let Mark tune in right now, how's that?
Yeah, not a lot going on, but trying to get some roads worked out, get that finished out, get the calcium down. It's just went from one extreme to another, of course, you guys all know. We had conversation about at Jackson Hill a couple times about getting that paved out. So under the program, I just got the paperwork back last month here. Under what they call Pave New York, I rolled that over for 2 years, so we got $114,000 that we could, and that's basically what that's used for, is to put out new pavement and stuff. So I'd like to take that money and put that up there on Jackson Hill and start that process of getting that straightened around. We're fighting with that road all the time, and it's, it's all this extended traffic, small traffic, or smaller cars are just beating the hell out
With
of
that
it.
114,000, how far will that go?
That'll take us,
You're dirt from the corner, right?
yep, and I want to start at the Meredith Town Line and work my way back to the corner of Jackson Hill, which is 1 3/10 miles. So this will take us probably 3/4 away right now. And no,
And that's not affecting another CHIPS money that we're gonna,
No, and so, we've taken some money out for when I did chip sealing, I had $250,000 in CHIPS money. And then, under early winter recovery, I had another $49,000 that we're gonna use some of that at Franklin Depot, to get that straightened right back around. We were gonna pave that one, But after looking at it and being able to shim it up, and I'm gonna double surface it.
What is Sidney doing?
They ground that up.
Just ground that up and,
Ground it up, and they're gonna double surface back over it once they can get it dried out. They had an issue, once they put the calcium, they mix calcium with it.
Right,
They got
right.
that hellish rainstorm. So I was talking to them today, we're gonna go up and try to roll it for them again, see if we can get the fines down, and then, once I get set up, and we get ours shimmed, we're gonna double surface right theirs and
right from
ours.
the
All the way.
quarter up through.
Yep.
So instead of the 360 we got last year, we're gonna be down to 250 then, basically? Or the 49 you're talking for Franklin Depot?
See it. No.
Because you were talking 250, and 49 for
Yeah.
Franklin Depot on top of the 250?
And, yeah, all of the chips is always at that 250 range,
Okay,
okay? Then the early Warner recovery every year is 57,000,
okay.
but I doubled it up from last year, I didn't use it. And
That's
then,
what's going up to Jackson Hill.
yeah,
I think that'll shut them up in that either.
well, there's gonna,
The problem is, we open this can of worms up, and they're all gonna want the roads paved, and they're gonna say, you did it there, why don't you do it here?
they do that anyways, and it's, we gotta, my personal opinion is we gotta step forward. We gotta start getting some of these straightened around and get rid of this dust and the dirt and all of this crap, because it's one, it's not healthy. Number two, it's just costing us a lot of money. I mean, we're going back to Jackson Hill as soon as we get done here on the backside. It's just, it's time. Change these over. I really wish when I took this job over 20 years ago, I started doing the process. They were in the process of doing that and then dropped it out for some unknown reason. Every year they were putting a mile or so of road on and trying to get up. We got roads where I can throw a rock at, half of it's paved, half of it's not paved.
Well, you haven't had a whole lot of complaints from Slauson Road, but that's what, 8/10 or something between blacktop and blacktop? A short patch, is that what I understand? I haven't been up there.
Lawson or Swore.
Swart maybe.
Yeah,
Just got a source.
Swart's
Really short.
longer than that.
Oh, it is.
It's a hard side.
Just the Romanettes, right? To Romanettes, and then it's
Yeah,
blacktop.
come on. I can look at the inventory right off the top of my head.
I just came down through there, it was fine.
You've worked
Swart
with
one.
Swart.
Swart.
Yeah, yeah, we worked at
Okay.
just before vacation.
That was one of the 3 roads that were
Mentioned.
talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, eventually that would be a good one to do, try to join some of these in. But, there's some other ones that, eventually, I probably won't be in this position, but, like Christian Hill, Russell Road, East Hanson Brook, those all need to be tied together, Just, and they would save a lot of headaches and stuff as well.
What's the cost of fixing it once they start to go the other way though?
No, what I've been doing is every 4th year, about $12,000 chip seal. So this is the way it works, so everybody gets this, because I hear this all the time about expense. So if you do it with CHIPS money, that doesn't come out of pocket, out of our pocket. Say in 4 years, now the way the thing is right now, you could actually do it in 5 years, double surface, go through the CHIPS again. Doesn't cost the taxpayers here other than through the CHIPS program. So your first 5 years, you could basically get away, it doesn't cost you other than out of the CHIPS money, okay? So then after that, then you're talking $12,000 to $14,000 a mile, depending on if it's an 18-foot road or a 20-foot road, to go in and chip seal it and keep it.
But does our chips, every time you add length to our blacktop, does the chips go up or the chips
No.
stay the same? So
Stays-
you're gonna be thinning it out to maintain the other roads?
Yep.
So
But the way
it's coming out of the pocket.
But the way the program is right now, it's so much better because for a long time, I wasn't even using the CHIPS money to chip seal. And now I can, okay, on that 5-year rotating scale. So actually, that would give you more money to maintain than some of the other ones, you know, as far as your pavement and stuff.
What about those spots in the road that always pothole up, whether they are sealed or not?
It's in where,
Well, I know a few years ago at the bottom of Sherman Hill, they put oil and stone over top of it, and that always turns into potholes. And that potholed right back up, and it kind of, they rolled it back up and got it out of the way and made it dirt again.
right off Merrickville.
Yeah.
What that was, every time you put pavement up against dirt, it always seems like there's a little bit of a gap, so when a car comes off it, that starts that. We basically paved there where it's paved, never potholed, but once in a while, when we chip seal.
Because you know what I mean, down there, that always, I don't care, you work it up a week later, it potholes up.
Right, but most of the time it's right within a few yards of where that is, and it's basically just a transfer, and a little bit of water sets there, and then the cars start pounding the hell out of it. So, basically, if you paved over that, you'd probably take it away, until where you stopped. And then where you stop, you know, it's just like up here on Hill Street, you drove up there lately, there's holes up there, you lose your car right off the end of it. If you pay, every time we've extended that out, it just goes out a little farther. And that's all that is. So when the cars come off from that pavement, hits that dirt, they just start pounding that, and that's why.
You can't ever dig it out, because the blacktop's there.
Right.
So you can't dig it out completely without digging up the blacktop.
And once you fill into it, you're just a temporary fill.
It's temporary. But if the whole thing was paved, you wouldn't have it.
But you know what I'm
it's
saying,
just-
at the bottom of Sherman
Yes.
Hill, right up through, there's a good 20, 25 feet there that always potholes completely up.
I bet you if you went down there and we paved that, you know, what I wish I'd have done was took it a little farther in last year, just to prove to everybody that that's what goes on. Because for the most part, once you pave over them, if you see that minefield of holes, that's small cars. That's small cars digging up your gravel. Take a stone like that out, put water in it, and they just keep hydraulic in it. If you see down the center of a road where it's kind of divoted and that type of thing, that's a water issue. That's usually water coming up through. If you go up to that Jackson Hill and you see all that minefield, it's just small cars just pounding that thing. And I'll tell you, you know, everybody goes,
The faster they go.
well, I tell this story to people. We worked that road one day. I picked Randy up. We had just calciumed it. So on Jackson Hill, I'm leaving, headed back towards Mark Barnes. I look in the mirror and I see a cloud of dust. I said to Randy, I says, got a car coming. As I got to 65 miles an hour, the car went by me. On dirt. The other township hadn't got their road done yet, had holes in it, so it didn't seem to matter. Mine's nice, theirs isn't.
He never let off.
Never let off. We figured we'd find him out by Mark someplace
Yeah.
down the end of his driveway. Yeah, we never seen him.